Some of my colleagues point out that since the war in Ukraine began, Europe has collectively spent as much as on European defense as the United States, as if that's some great triumph. To me, it just shows how upside down this whole arrangement is. How is it even remotely impressive that the nations defending their own continent are only barely keeping pace with the country across the Atlantic? If Europe really believes it's facing an existential threat from Russia, it should be spending not just as much as we have, but magnitudes more than we do. 10 times, 100 times. That's what a commitment would look like. And please stop telling me that comparing spending in Europe is even. That's laughably narrow. When you compare U.S. defense spending in Europe to Europe's, you ignore everything else America does worldwide, much of which directly benefits Europe. Who ensures freedom of navigation in the Red Sea when European trade flows there daily? We do. Who contains China's growing dominance across the Indo-Pacific, stabilizing global markets and maritime routes that Europe depends on? We do. Without U.S. global power projection, the European way of life wouldn't exist as we know it. And still, they won't even take primary responsibility for their own backyard. If Russia really is a continent-wide threat, as European leaders say, then where is the urgency? Where is the mobilization? With few exceptions, Poland and the Baltic states, Europe is not acting like it's facing down a generational threat, not even close. And I'm getting tired of being asked to go home to Missouri and explain to working Americans, the people I represent, why they should send more money, more troops, more of their sons and daughters to defend a continent that refuses to defend itself. Why should we care more about Moscow than people in Paris, who are 2 hours away by plane? It doesn't make sense, and it's time to stop pretending that it does. For 80 years, we've told Europe to get serious about their own defense. They have blown us off. They haven't listened. Maybe they never will, as long as we keep doing the job for them. So yes, maybe we should have a conversation about the Supreme Allied Commander role. Maybe having an American general in that seat furthers this ruse. We should have the debate, not simply dismiss it. Let's have an honest conversation about it. American priorities in Europe, what they should be. Let's stop confusing symbolism with strategy. And while we're at it, maybe let's stop waving foreign flags on the House floor when Americans can barely afford groceries. Some of my colleagues seem to think that defending Ukraine matters more than defending our own border. I disagree, and so do the American people. It's time to have a serious realignment. Let Europe grow up and carry its own weight. America's job is not to babysit the world. It's to protect our people and our interests.